I promise I'm coping really, really well. Anyway, hi. I'm Simon, and I would like to give you my background, okay? I got into NCT DREAM like 8 years ago now. Does that feel right? That feels right. That number feels right. We'll call it 8 years ago, okay? And I got like really into them. Like, they are probably one of the groups that I've had the most amounts of psychosis about. And now Mark is gone. And that has set me into a spiral. And I told all my besties who were K-pop fans, I was like, all of you, I'm allowed to mourn through, I think I said Sunday. And it's now Wednesday, so I'm taking a different approach. I'm taking the approach of, I'm just going to start talking about Dream constantly until I'm desensitized to it. Which brings us to today, which brings us to this moment. I am ranking every single NCT DREAM era by how iconic I personally find it. Now, to be clear, this is my ranking. You can disagree with every ranking I give. However, I'm not just ranking the music. I've made other videos for groups where, like, I've ranked their singles. And, like, I could do that for Dream. But the problem is, I feel like my Dream obsession requires more. It requires more insanity, which brings us to this moment. I'm ranking it by iconicness, okay? Now, there are several factors in how iconic an era is. Thing one is the music, right? Like, obviously, the single and the rest of the album. Because, like, NCT DREAM has a couple albums where I don't like the title track, but the B-sides are, like, some of their best. So, like, that has to be a factor. I can't just ignore the fact that the Dream Escape album is amazing, even if Smoothie is bad, right? Like, so we take it all into account. The single does get, like, a different scoring metric than the B-sides, but all of it comes together. So the music is a factor. The looks are a factor as well. Like, for example, there are eras when I think of it and I'm like, oh, wait, Haechan looked really good that era. Jenna looked really good that era. Jisung looked really good that era. So, like, that's a factor as well. My memories and my opinions on the looks will also be a factor. There are also eras where they looked a hot fucking mess, and that will lose you points, right? There are eras where they all had the worst hair I've ever seen, and that will lose you points. The other criteria that I really used in my mind was the psychic damage, okay? The psychic damage, both of my favorite song on the album and just the general era in general. If the era has dealt me psychic damage in the modern day, like in a post-Mark Lee NCT DREAM member society, then that earns it points, because that makes it more iconic. However, if I can think back on an era and be like, yeah, it's fine, I have no psychic damage from that era, that loses you points. I want the psychic damage. On that note, though, here is my scream. Okay, I made myself a tier list. You can see I threw the Dream eras down here. They are in order, so we are going to go in chronological order of release. However, I've also made my own tiers. Let's start at the bottom this time, okay? Sorry to this man. These are the eras that I don't think about, okay? They deal me no psychic damage. I don't think about the music that often. They're just kind of there. They're eras of NCT DREAM that definitely happened, and I wouldn't know them if I walked past them on the street. Next is Immoderate. Okay? These are, like, they're kind of iconic. They might have, like, a really good song on the album. I might have, like, a little bit of psychic damage, but we're not talking, like, a full iconic moment in the same way, right? After that, More Hits Than Misses, this is where we switch to fully positive. Like, it's definitely not top tier insanely iconic, but, like, it has a lot going for it. It has more hits than it has misses. Deeply iconic is very self-explanatory. It is deeply iconic. However, that is not our top tier. Our top tier is a formative psychic text. These are the eras that I think about the most, that I'm constantly thinking about, that I constantly have on my mind. Like, if you were to make me name NCT DREAM's best eras, I would name these eras immediately without question, okay? Those are the tiers. Let's begin. And we, of course, start with the classic, the one and only Chewing Gum. Chewing Gum is deeply iconic as an era, okay? The looks are complicated. I frankly don't like looking at NCT DREAM in Chewing Gum era because they look like babies. And then I have to remind myself of modern day NCT DREAM 10 years down the line when they're adults, where it's okay for them to be adults. But as like an era, this was an iconic era. Okay? The song itself is everything you would expect from NCT DREAM of this time period, right? Like, they were fucking around on those hoverboards, causing nothing short of diabolical chaos. It doesn't deal me enough psychic damage in the way that I want, but it does deal me psychic damage, so it gets to be deeply iconic. Next era, the first physical Dream album, the first, as well as its lead single, My First and Last. I'm putting this in more hits than misses. And it's largely because the single itself, My First and Last, the song, is deeply iconic. Okay? That is a crazy goated song. Unfortunately, the looks this era were less than stellar, to say the least. Like, specifically, I'm talking about the hairs more than anything else. There are some decisions that were made in relation to this era that I think were wrong, that I think need to be punishable with jail time. Plus, there's no, like, B-side on here that I've latched onto and locked in with, and that causes me deep psychic damage. So it has more hits than misses. Like, there's a lot good about this album. It's a good album, but it's not as iconic. The We Young era is going, and I'm sorry to this man. I'm so sorry to the We Young era. The looks were heinous. These are heinous hairs. These are heinous stylings. All of it was bad. All of it was bad. Like, 2 of them looked good. But also, this is another one where, like, the B-sides are fine, but they're not, like, dealing me metric levels of psychic damage, nor really is the single. Like, My First and Last is an iconic song, to be sure. We Young is a great song, but it's not, like, an iconic song. Where, like, I think that if I were to make someone sit down and think about the first, like, 5 Dream albums, We Young is the last one they're gonna think of, and I think there's a reason for that. Next, we have Go era. I did give Go its own era, and I'm putting it in moderate. I think Go is moderately iconic. I think that the entire NCT 2018 album is a different story. Like, that was an iconic era. For Go on its own, I think it's moderately iconic. They did look good. Jaemin was back. We got some wins, but the song itself isn't my favorite. And then you add on top of that the fact that there was no, like, other B-side. Because Dream, when they do the NCT group-wide albums, Dream will, like, consistently put out one of the best songs on that album. And this is kind of the exception to that rule. Like, it's a fine song. It's not the worst song on there. But, like, when I think about the iconic songs that came from that album, Go is near the bottom. Next, We Go Up. We Go Up is a deeply, deeply iconic era, okay? Like, there's one thing that holds it back from a formative psychic text, which is just that I don't think the looks were great, but everything else, it's delivering to me. Okay, for starters, this is our first album that deals me great amounts of psychic damage with Dear Dream. Okay, the songs as a whole are delightful. Plus, like, my memories of it are it being iconic. The Best Day has a We Go Up shirt. Like, there's a reason that this is an iconic era. And now, Weeboom. Weeboom is a formative psychic text. Weeboom is a formative psychic text. Maybe it's that I got into Dream during Weeboom era, but, like, that's a formative psychic text. The songs are iconic. The looks were mainly excellent. I can't say they were across the board excellent, but they were mainly excellent. It's a formative psychic text for me. The fact that that's when I got into Dream is definitely a factor, but, like, when I think about Dream's iconic eras, I have to think about Boom. Reload and Raiden, I'm thinking more hits than misses. Because, like, it was a good era, and at the time, I thought about it a lot more. I think the problem is that, like, it didn't stand the test of time. That's the great way to put it. Is, like, it didn't stand the test of time, right? Like, there are eras older than this one that I think about all the time, right? Like, there are 3 above it on the tier list. But, like, Reload, I think, is better musically and looks-wise. The looks here, excellent. However, as, like, an era, I don't think back to it. It also doesn't have a song that really deals me psychic damage in the same way. And I think that really hurts it. Like, I think the fact that Dear Dream exists keeps We Go Up in my mind in a way that, like, Puzzle Pieces doesn't. Oh god, Hot Sauce. Hot Sauce? I think I'm putting in a formative psychic text. I think I'm putting Hot Sauce in a formative psychic text. I will say, some of the B-sides on here are heinous, are terrible, and the single's not very good. Actually, I'm talking myself out of it. It's going down to D. No, it's staying. It's staying. Because, like, Hot Sauce was, like, an era. Right? Like, I feel like any NCT DREAM stan who was around during Hot Sauce remembers Hot Sauce era so vividly. Because, like, that was Mark's comeback. They got a #1 single with Hot Sauce. Like, that was a moment. That was an era. Plus, there are B-sides on here that I do adore. Like, for starters, half of the album might be ass, but the other half of the album would have made NCT DREAM's best mini album. And then there's the Psychic Damage. Like, this is the album with Rainbow. This is the album with Irreplaceable, a song that people don't talk about enough. People are always like, oh, Graduation this, Dear Dream that. Let's talk about Irreplaceable. Let's talk about Irreplaceable, NCT DREAM's, like, top 3 B-sides that no one wants to talk about, that they've never performed live in full more than, like, 3 times, and they never will now. And Irreplaceable, actually alone, does put this in a formative psychic text. I'm so unwell about that song. I'm so upset about that song, and that no one understands it like I do. Like, if you haven't heard Irreplaceable in a while, go listen to Irreplaceable. As for Hello Future, walk with me here. I'm putting it in more hits than misses, and I want you to understand why. I love Hello Future. I adore Hello Future, and I think had Hello Future been put on Apple Music as a repackaged album, I would feel differently. The problem is it's not. The problem is, when I go to the Hello Future album, it has 5 songs on it, and it's the new ones. The title is excellent, and the B-sides are good, but then they threw in, like, 2 random songs. Well, not 2 random songs. They threw in 2 songs from Hot Sauce, and then they, like, packaged it as an EP, and that pisses me off. That pisses me off specifically. So it does lose credit for that. It's also not an album that I have, like, the deep psychic damage from, if that makes sense. Like, it is an iconic era, of course. It has more hits than misses, but it's not deeply iconic. As for Glitch Mode, I am actually going to put it in Sorry to This Man. I never think about the Glitch Mode era. I never think about the Glitch Mode album for a couple reasons. One, it's not very good. I think that it's amongst their faults, certainly their worst, and arguably their worst album. I also don't like the title track very much. I do think they looked good. The teasers for this era were crazy. I remember, like, foaming at the mouth at them. Like, specifically, I remember Jeno's teaser had me climbing the walls. But, like, as an era, if we're talking an entire era of NCT DREAM, I don't think it's as iconic as the ones that came before, or really the ones that came after it. Like, when I think about NCT DREAM albums, my mind will just, like, kind of skip over this era. And I don't know why that is. I think it's just because I never listened to the album, because the album's not very good. But, like, it's not an era that I think about often, so it does have to go in the bottom tier. Beatbox, admittedly, is going to go higher. I am putting it in moderate, entirely for the single. I actually love Beatbox, the song. I think Beatbox, the song, is fun. I don't think it's a song for serious people, but I do think it's a fun time, and I think it's very NCT DREAM core. But, like, a lot of the issues that plague Glitch Mode plague Beatbox, which makes sense, it's the repackage, but, like, I don't think about this era all the time. I think about Beatbox as a song moderately often. Also, yes, I did use the English version. I think the English version cover is cuter. So I am a despot. I can do whatever I want on this channel. So, like, I did use that cover. And I do like the English version more. And ironically, I think the English version is even more fun. But, like, as a whole, it's, like, moderately iconic, but I don't think about it that often. Candy is absolutely another top tier formative psychic text, okay? Candy era was everything to me. Candy era, I believe, is an era where I watched every single music show performance not in real time. I didn't watch them live, but I watched them, like, the next morning. I'd wake up and be like, okay, NCT DREAM performed last night, let's watch Candy. I've heard Candy by NCT DREAM so many times, and I have no regrets. It's a delightful song. The looks were so cute. They were so fun. And the songs, listen, I know I said Irreplaceable is more iconic than Graduation, and I do stand by that. However, Graduation hurts me more. And we are rating psychic damage. We're not rating generalized, just vague, do I enjoy it more. We're talking psychic damage. And Graduation has made me cry real human tears in the last, like, 4 hours. So it has to be a top tier album. The looks, the music, the single, all of it. All of it, Psychic Damage included, it's everything. I feel like someone saw Broken Melodies on the tier list as a standalone single and was like, that's either going in the top tier or the bottom tier, and they were right, it's top tier. Broken Melodies is a formative psychic text for me. Broken Melodies is another era where I watched every stage. I think about the Broken Melodies stages more than I think about most of NCT DREAM's, like, official mainline, like, lead singles, because, like, I feel like that era was the peak of iconicness for Dream. I'm actually willing to say that. I think Broken Melodies was the most iconic thing Dream ever did as far as eras go, because, like, the performances were crazy. They were huge. The song itself is an absolute banger. That's one of Dream's best songs. You cannot convince me otherwise. The looks were good. I'm pretty sure. I'm actually struggling to remember what, like, half of them looked like during Broken Melodies era. But if the ones I remember looked good. So, like, I'm counting the looks. Broken Melodies is the reason I'm here. Unironically, I was listening to Broken Melodies yesterday, and I was like, I need to talk about Dream eras. I need to talk about Dream eras as an excuse to talk about Broken Melodies for a hot minute and tell you all that Broken Melodies was the most iconic thing Dream ever did. And the only other alternative solution to that was to make a history of NCT DREAM, which I am going to do. Spoilers, I am going to start working on it soon. But, like, I needed an excuse that wasn't going to end up being multiple hours long of actual content, let alone the work beforehand. So, like, I'm using this as my excuse. This is my excuse. This is my confession. This entire experience has been an excuse for me to tell you that Broken Melodies is the greatest thing NCT DREAM ever did, and I cannot be convinced otherwise. As for the rest of the ISTJ album, I do think it's deeply iconic. I do. I think it was Dream's first, like, amazing original mainline single in, like, years. I actually think it's a really good song. The album itself is fine. It's good. The reason I'm willing to leave it this high is simply because the songs that are good are so good. Like, the iconic songs we got from NCT DREAM on this album are so iconic, and the Psychic Damage, like we just met, has dealt to me personally in the past 100 hours. Okay? I was texting one of my besties the other day, and I was like, it's kind of crazy that a week ago, if you asked me about, like, we just met, I would have been like, yeah, it's nice, and it's cute, and that's about it, and it's pretty good. And now I'm like, it's gut-wrenching. It's gorgeous. It's iconic. It's beautiful. No one understands this song like I do. I've listened to Like We Just Met like 30 times in the past 2 days. I listened to it on loop for like an hour yesterday. Okay? I've been listening to these songs so much, and like, I am doing it to myself. I'm inflicting psychic damage on myself. But it's desensitizing. I'm desensitizing myself to this experience because I want to be able to keep listening to NCT DREAM, and I can't live with not being able to listen to the Dreamscape album again. Speaking of, the Dream Escape album is more hits than misses, but there's one thing that holds it back, which is Smoothie. I hate Smoothie. I hate Smoothie. I don't like Smoothie as a song. Admittedly, I've heard it in its entirety once since Mark left NCT DREAM. I listened to their entire discography, mind you. The day he announced he left, I sat down. I believe I was off work that day, whatever day it was. It was Easter Friday. It was Good Friday. So I was off work that day. And I was sitting down, and I just started with chewing gum. And the next thing I do, I'd like listen to every NCT DREAM album. But like, here was my understanding. Here's something that I forgot. I'm going to be honest about this. I forgot how good the B-sides on this album are. The B-sides on this album are insane, okay? There aren't any that I'm like, oh my god, this is one of the best songs I've ever heard from NCT DREAM, for one reason that we'll get to in a second, but like, I forgot how good the B-sides on there. Like, I think in my mind, I associate it more with Smoothie, which makes sense. It was the lead single, but like, that association has hurt the album more than I care to admit. Next, the Dreamscape album. The Dreamscape album is a formative psychic text for me. Here's a real fact about me. One of my most streamed albums this year is the Dreamscape album. I listen to the Dreamscape album all the time. I think it is one of the best things SM has ever made in their entire career. The Dreamscape album is phenomenal. And also there is Psychic Damage on here in the likes of, you're gonna think I'm crazy for this. I Hate Fruits. I Hate Fruits is my favorite NCT DREAM song, like potentially ever. And I listen to it all the time. It's a song that I'm incapable of listening to at a normal volume. I have gotten the little like pop-up notification from my phone that's like, you've exceeded your normal volume amount, please calm the fuck down. Because I've been listening to I Hate Fruits way too loud. But this is an iconic era. Mainly for the music, admittedly. The girls do not fuck with this album. This isn't like Candy, where like everyone was talking about it. No one talked about the Dreamscape album. Except for me. Because I am aware that it's the best thing that they've ever done. And I love it. And the music is so good, and they looked good. And When I'm With You is one of their best singles, and no one wants to talk about it. But it's a formative psychic text to me. Go Back to the Future. I think I'm going to put it in moderate. And I want to defend that stance as well. Because, like, here's the thing. The music is great. It's a great album. It's just not iconic to me, right? Like, I feel like the Go Back to the Future era, it's good. It's like a good, I'm trying to think of like the way I want to phrase this. Like, it's a good era and the music is good. It's great. But like, it doesn't inflict psychic damage on me, I think is the way I'll phrase it. Like, it's a really good album. I do enjoy it when I put it on, and I do listen to it pretty often. But it's not an album that has me, like, ready to throw things, if that makes sense. And, like, I think, it's interesting, actually, as I look at this, because I would have considered Go Back to the Future more iconic than the Dream Escape album, like, 3 days ago. And I don't know, that's interesting to me. Anyway, Beat It Up is sorry to this man. I'm sorry to Beat It Up. I don't fuck with Beat It Up. I cannot believe that they looked me dead in the eye and they said the last song you're ever getting from NCT DREAM with Mark Lee in it is Beat It Up. Absolutely not. That's evil. That's heinous. It's also not their best album. I think part of it is like we went from like a run of goated songs to Beat It Up. And that hurts. That hurts me a little bit. And also it doesn't deal me any psychic damage. It deals me emotional damage. It makes me mad. But it doesn't deal me psychic damage. Anyway, this has been... Simon ranks every single NCT DREAM era and goes on a bit of a tirade, but it's fine because this is my coping mechanism. I have more NCT DREAM content planned, mind you. I do have at least one video that I'm definitely gonna make, and I'm hoping after that I can be normal again. Okay? Because there's so many things that like I've been unwell about, and then I come here and I talk about it for like 20 minutes and then I'm normal again, so we're hoping that's what's gonna happen. We just have to hope. We have to hope I can be normal again. However, until then, thank you so much for watching. Feel free to like and subscribe if you want to or don't. I'll be fine either way. In the description, I'm just going to put all my NCT videos. Okay, I've done a bunch of them. There's going to be a playlist that has all of my reviews for all of NCT's albums. I'm going to put... I did make a history of NCT years ago now. Like, years and years ago. Candy, I don't believe, was out. But it's like 2.5 hours long. I'll put that down there. It's not like my modern ones. Like, if you've watched a couple of my more recent history ups, it's not like that. But I think it's a good time. It's 2.5 hours. Watch it if you so choose. And yeah, thank you again for watching.